The Gears of War franchise is a franchise that is synonymous with the Xbox family ever since its inception back in 2006. Now, this is a franchise that I recently got into, but I started it with Gears of War 4, then 5, then 1, in that order. I played them in that order for the first time. The reason I did that is because Gears 2 and 3 are not on PC, and Gears 4 is a soft reboot, narratively speaking. But before I jumped into any of it, I did watch plenty of videos of gameplay, recap videos of the story, and spoke to my closest confidants before jumping into the franchise. And not only has me playing through these games made me a fan of the franchise, it has also allowed me to see how the franchise has evolved and grown. Essentially, when you get to Gears 5, the franchise matures and becomes better than it ever has been. I know many people will sit there and say that Gears of War 2 is the best in the franchise. They love the characters, they like the story at that point, and I'm not here to tell you otherwise. But in my opinion, Gears 5 is the best in the franchise because of that maturity, because it grew up. You see, when I played through Gears 4 and then went to 5, I was blown away about how it evolved. Then I went back to Gears 1, and while Gears 1 holds up today and it still plays great, it's no doubt in my mind that fundamentally, in terms of game design, it is dated. To put it simply, the entire Gears franchise, 1, 2, 3, and 4, the way the gameplay is you enter a room, you clear a wave of enemies and baddies, you see a cutscene, rinse and repeat. Sure, every now and then you get some little set piece actions and what have you, which is great, but that is the general consensus of how the game is played throughout the campaign. It is literally that. That's where Gears 5 evolved and matured. Because Gears 5, not only does it have open world sections for you to explore, you have RPG elements where how you level up Jack. You are not forced to stay behind cover the entire time because of Jack's abilities. You have stealth sections in the game. You have a section in the game where you actually control the monsters and attack humans. I mean, you can even pilot a skiff, which is the equivalent of like a Star Wars pod racer. These are things that, for some, I understand that they love that rinse and repeat, go in, shoot a wave of enemies, see a cutscene, rinse and repeat. For me, that gets stale and got stale fast. It got stale very quickly in my first playthrough of Gears 4. It got stale quickly again when I played Gears of War 1. But Gears 5, because of how it mixed everything up and how you had other things to do than just walk into a room and clear a wave of enemies, kept the gameplay fresh, exciting. At the same time, they had plenty of those moments where you walk into a room, you get behind cover, and you kill a bunch of shit. That is true to the Gears formula, and they still have plenty of it in Gears 5. But what also evolved the franchise is its narrative. That Gears 5 moves beyond the simplicity of the original story. The original story in Gears 1 is literally just, hey, we got this locust, we got to blow up the tunnels underneath. That's it. That's your story. Gears 4 was very similar. Hey, we got to blow some shit up. Oh, look, we need help. Let's chase Marcus down for 90 minutes, who got captured by a monster. Nah. That doesn't happen in Gears 5. In Gears 5, there is a lot of emotional weight between the characters such as JD, Del, Kate. There's also the emotional weight that at the end of the game, where you literally have to choose between JD or Del in terms of which one of them is going to die. Yeah, that's right. The game gives you a fucking gut punch, and you gotta choose between one of them on who's gonna die. There's no way out of it. There's no way of saving both. You literally gotta choose which one of them die. And the cutscenes play out differently depending on which one you choose. Yes, the core ending is the same, but how they get there changes, and how the characters react is different depending on who you choose. So this emotional weight of the narrative, which you'll be heavily invested in by the time you get there, and combined with the evolution of the shooting mechanics, the different elements of gameplay that has been added in, the pacing. Everything about Gears 5 matured the game. Now, I know, again, some people disagree with that, and that's fine. And I know my opinion is probably of the unpopular opinion. But I think Gears of War 5, at the very least the campaign, is the best it's ever been. And the best Gears game, period. It was so good, in fact, that they went out of their way to add Dave Bautista as an option for New Game Plus to play as Marcus Phoenix. Which, I think Dave Bautista does a good Marcus Phoenix, so if they did do a movie, I'd be an advocate for him playing that role. But I digress. Nothing against, classic Marcus. I love classic Marcus. But hey, Dave Bautista does a good job too, and it was nice to see his face in the game and whatnot. But I digress. Gears 5 took everything about what was good about the original franchise and matured it. Unlike Halo, which has been up and down since 343 took over, the Coalition has been nothing but positive reception for the most part. Yes, Gears 4 stumbled a bit because they played it overly safe, but the outcome of Gears 5 has made the anticipation for Gears 6 all that much more. More and more people are excited for Gears 6 because of what the Coalition did with Gears 5. And I look forward to Gears 6. And in my opinion, this has quickly become the franchise, the flagship, if you will, for Xbox. This is Veteran Gamer, and I hope to see you guys next time.